Education leaders around Vermont say they want state lawmakers to be thoughtful and careful when crafting a new education funding system. And some don't mind if that means it'll take a few years. They had the chance to share that sentiment and more with two House committees on Thursday as the legislature weighs Governor Phil Scott's education transformation proposal. ABC 22's Matt Holderman listened in to hear what school leaders had to say.
This is an opportunity, a huge opportunity for the state of Vermont. So we really need to make sure we do this right.
The Vermont House Education Committee and House Ways and Means Committee held a joint hearing at the State House Thursday, giving school leaders from around the state a chance to testify. Superintendents, school board members, and leaders of some of the state's top education organizations shared their ideas and concerns with lawmakers when it comes to building a new education funding system for the state.
Let's build a system that's sustainable, that still provides us with a high-class, world-class education, and let's do it in a thoughtful way. And if it takes us more than a couple years, then that's okay.
Among the many thoughts aired out, one that was mentioned multiple times was making sure every district still has enough money for every student under a new formula and locking that funding into place for years to come, accounting for inflation. That brought up a concern some have with Governor Scott's Ed Transformation Plan, which in simple terms would set a base amount of money to be distributed equally to all students.
A formula would need to have an appropriate base education amount, appropriate weighting for higher costs to educate students, and some type of inflationary index built into the law so that future general assemblies don't underfund public education.
How would a base foundation amount be calculated if Winooski is combined with neighboring districts? Would all students be treated the same? How would we ensure additional funding is actually going to multilingual learners in this context?
Later in the day, the House Education Committee also spoke with Vermont Education Secretary Zoe Saunders, who shared some more details of Governor Scott's plan and answered some of the questions that were asked earlier in the day. She says the administration recognizes that some exceptions will have to be made when it comes to funding for certain districts, and they will take time to iron out the exact details.
As part of this overall transition and the current timeline proposed, there's really 2 years of planning that is built into this. And we already have tools in place to really evaluate the overall kind of operational well-being of our districts. We recognize that there will need to be exceptions, and so we flagged that, and particularly in more rural parts of our state.
Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.